Hi everybody, it's Dr. X Henry, and today we're going to be looking at South Park, the fractured butthole. You see, that's clever. They put butthole in the title, but it's butthole. Yeah, that's really funny, guys. South Park Fractured Butthole is the sequel to South Park The Stick of Truth, which was your average turn-based RPG game, mainly using timing mechanics, and I have to say, yeah, it turns out pretty well. My only real complaint is that I think it's overly easy sometimes on some difficulties and different classes and everything, and I think attack-wise the classes are too similar. Only on the new kid character though, because I know that each individual buddy character that you unlock as you progress through the game is very different, like they are all very different from each other. Yeah, so you can really tell that Trey Parker and Matt Stone put their heart and soul in this game. But, well, that means that there's gotta be a sequel, right? Because that's what they did. So basically, this time around, they decided to make a sequel out of the Coon series of episodes. And yeah, I'm glad to see a change, not specifically why I prefer one over another. It's just good to see something different this time around. But basically, the storyline mainly revolves around the Coon series of episodes, sort of resembling some other part of the sequel, because in this series of 4 episodes, if you don't count the 2 Professor Chaos related episodes, and well, yes, there was the Coon original episode, and then there was the sequel, which was in 3 parts. Basically, yes, so there was kind of like this entire superheroes theme going around the entire South Park TV show, and yeah, that was a very smart decision, but you see, the storyline actually revolves around more of a commentary on recent events than just telling a funny story, which, yes, I know The Stick of Truth already perfectly did that on just telling a humorous story, because the story was spot on in this game, and yeah, I gotta say, this game actually has an extremely well-delivered story. It mainly revolves around the Coon and friends eventually dividing into a civil war occurs, and while both sides are basically trying to find a cat so they can receive reward money to kickstart their franchise, which obviously they're parodying the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe makes so much money, and that's basically what they are trying to imitate. And it goes to some absolutely crazy proportions, just about a story about a bunch of kids just trying to find a lost cat. And I mean, like, yeah, that's probably not as insane despite the fact that they already delivered an amazingly delivered storyline about how kids are just killing each other over a stick, and eventually turns into a Nazi zombie apocalypse, and they're still killing each other over a stick. But like I said, it was a commentary on a recent event, and okay, not entirely recent, but something that is currently going on and making lots of money. But you get my point. So basically, maybe the Marvel Cinematic Universe will start sucking or something, and DC will finally just learn that their movies are not good. Like all of them are terrible in recent years. Okay, so only time will tell if this storyline will be relevant in a few years, and yeah, I mean, like, if you're looking for a good storyline in a video game, might as well play this while you can. Now, if we talk about the gameplay mechanics, the gameplay mechanics is actually so much better than the Stick of Truth. Basically, the Stick of Truth mainly revolved, well, yes, it was a turn-based RPG with more of Paper Mario timed elements, and yes, well, there are a lot of timing elements in this style of gameplay, but it basically uses a tile-based gameplay, which actually works a lot better. And yes, it does use a lot of the same mechanics that were in the time-based RPG elements, but like, first of all, like the side effects and the ways that you can heal everything, like, basically, like, the limits on everything is pretty much the same as well. But basically, every character that you control is unique to one another, so basically, it gives you so much time to stop and think before you directly do an attack, and see what would do the most damage, where should I position the person while I attack. Like, there is so much to think about before you do an attack, which just adds so much challenge up, like I said, because the Stick of Truth I found very overly easy. And don't get me wrong, there was a good amount of challenge between each fight, and there were some pretty challenging bosses throughout the journey. But this is also affected by the way that everything is laid out, since every area that you fight in is actually unique. It has its own battleground, a structured setup, what you can't move to, where you can move, and yeah, everything just works so much better, which, yes, it does increase more challenge and just more creative thinking before you attack. And yeah, there is a lot of exploration value, and I mean, like, yeah, there are a lot of useless locations similar to the Stick of Truth that are mainly just used to, you know, do some useful side quest or something, or just, you know, just have the town of South Park more created accurately. But I mean, like, you know, there are a lot more things that you can do like not including exploration or unlocking or, you know, providing or trying to get the game to 100%. I mean, like, specifically, you can even do things like craft items and even just take selfies with everyone for the hell of it. And keep in mind, this is something I didn't specifically want in the Stick of Truth. I didn't even think about this as seeing this as a complaint. And yeah, I gotta talk about the graphics for a second. It does continue of perfectly resembling the South Park art style in such a grand format, but, well, yeah, I think it even looks better, not just due to the technology, but I just love how everything is more zoomed out, which does actually apply more to the puzzle-solving functionalities, which, yeah, in the Stick of Truth there was some, but here there's a lot more, where you can even unlock buddy commands, well, yeah, similar to the Stick of Truth, but this is mainly things that you evolve in around, and then, you know, you don't have to do everything, but there's a lot more puzzle-solving as you progress in the game, and just everything that you unlock actually affects what you're doing, and could lead to some big point in the storyline, which I gotta talk about the humor for a second, and, well, yeah, the humor is, well, yeah, there's nothing that had to be censored this time around. You don't have to get hit in the face by your dad's balls. You don't have to give a man an abortion. But, I mean, like, there's a lot more shock value in this humor that, thankfully, nothing had to be considered, and, you know, everyone could have the most offensive version possible in every version of the world. I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. If you're an RPG fan that can take some edgy humor, then I highly recommend this game. And even if you're not a fan of the show, which, yeah, I know the comedy wouldn't be as accessible, because, yes, like the Stick of Truth, this game is very funny consistently, both visually and, well, just overall the situations that are going on, and that emphasize the fact that it's stupid. I know that this is more of another South Park love letter that's actually good by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So basically, yeah, a majority of the things that you do in the locations that you go to, and a majority of the jokes or whatever, are all show references, pretty much. There's, like, so many fantastic references that if you've seen at least a good amount of the TV series, or maybe if you've only seen that one specific episode, you can even catch a reference to, because there's that many of. But like I said, I certainly recommend picking this game up if you're an RPG fan, and you can take some edgy humor, or you're just a fan of the show, and or you're just looking for a great game that is generally funny. I highly recommend this game, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Dr. X Henry, and I'm signing off.